to do a still life. And this one is going to be sort of like an art journal entry on what's going on in the world today. Your still life might be different than mine. You may want to put in a book, or you may want to put in some artwork that you've been working on, or you can add anything to it to represent what you're going through in this time. I just picked the typical things that represent our country and COVID-19 right now. Throughout history, if you look back at still lifes, you can actually tell a lot about history from the things that people drew. So this is just a good way to document what's going on in our world today. So let's get started. When you're drawing your objects, just remember if it is round, then it has curved edges. So for my toilet paper roll, you're going to start with an ellipse. Okay, remember an ellipse is a flattened circle. We're actually going to start with 2. So just think of 2 ovals that you're going to draw if you choose to do toilet paper like me. I will send you this picture in case you want to copy this one exactly. Then, looking at your toilet paper, it has straight lines that come down, straight lines that come down. Remember that we can draw anything we want with just curved circles and lines. And then it has a curved base to it. So we'll take this and you're going to go straight down, straight down. Remember to draw lightly in case you mess up so you can erase. Curve up and around. Make sure that it's curving and not straight. Then I'm going to adjust it a little bit. All right, so now I have my toilet paper. I might even put in a couple dashed lines for those little tear lines, and a couple more ellipse lines to show the toilet paper wrapped up. Okay, next I'm going to look at my still life. Mine's right in front of me, or you can look at your picture. So you can take a picture or you can set it up in front of you. Next, we have a line that goes up and it curves in. So I'm going to start with that. So it starts with the toilet paper, curves up and in. So I'm going to start here. I'm going to go straight, curve in. And actually I made mine too tall. And then let's look at it, what it happens next. It's going to go straight up, curve, up, up, and then we're going to have a little ellipse at the top. Then it's going to come down, curve out, down, and then curve in. So I might just go ahead and do this part that matches on the other side. So it's going to come down. Oops, and I want to make it match. Thank goodness for erasers. I'm going to come down, and then this is the part where it curved in and out a little bit, and then down. So let's look at this one, and I think I made mine a little too big. It's going to curve out, down, and around. So let's try to match that. And remember that when an object is further away, then it's higher up on the page. Then I see there is a curve and a curve for the bottle label. So I'm going to go here and I'm going to do a curve, and then I'm going to do a curve. And then you can choose what details you want to add to your bottle. I'm going to go ahead and do the Ozarka. I'm not going to copy it exactly. This is more of a sketch. We're just kind of practicing still lifes today, so don't worry too much about making it perfect. But you can decide what you want to do for yours and how detailed you want to get. You do not have to get super detailed. Next up, if I look at my picture of my still life, or I look at the one in front of me, you have a straight line that goes up. It's pretty simple. If we look at it compared to the other ones, we see that it's taller than the water bottle. So I want to make sure this line goes up It goes a little bit into the toilet paper roll. I'm gonna keep adjusting. I think my toilet paper roll is too tall. There we go. I'm gonna go straight up. Now let's see what line we're gonna do next. For this next one, it looks like there's only a very tiny ellipse at the top because it's so tall. The angle that I took the photo, you can't hardly see the top of it at all. Now, depending on the angle you take the photo, it may be different. And it's wider, and I might not have left enough room on my page, but that's okay. And it has a little tab right here, which I can see a lot easier with the one in front of me. Okay, then remember, this is not a straight line. This is going to be a curve, but we need to go down first and do a straight line down. And then we have a curve here, and we have a curve here. It doesn't go all the way to the bottom of the toilet paper roll. So let's do that. You can copy it, you can do it differently. You might have a Lysol spray bottle, something else maybe that represents COVID a little differently to you. So now I'm just gonna go and I'm gonna kind of draw the details that I notice. Okay, once you finish drawing the details how you want them to be, then we're going to kind of talk about shadows or shading. And in order to do shadows or shading, you want to make sure that you take a picture that has shadows. So here's my picture where I took it into the sun. You can see, and the sun is shining from this direction, and it cast some shadows this way. And the picture kind of got cut off here, but you can see the toilet paper cast from the edge of the toilet paper straight out, and then the water bottle kind of curved on the toilet paper. So I'm going to go ahead and draw out my cast shadows, and yours might be different depending on the way the sun is. I will send my picture if you want to copy the same one. That's totally fine. So I'm going to come straight out like this, and then that's going to be my cast shadow, and then this one actually casts one too that goes back this way. We can't see it. What I'm going to do is I'm just going to shade lightly with my pencil. I'm not going to push real hard. Don't worry about shading real perfectly. I'm just going back and forth, but I'm making my lines kind of go the same direction. I have added all my cast shadows, including one that was here inside the toilet paper roll. Now, the next thing you want to look at with a round or curved object is that it's darker over here and here, and you can see it gradually gets lighter as it gets closer to where the sun hits it. So I'm going to go turn my pencil sideways. I'm going to add some shading going vertically first, and then I'm going to curve it like this, and I'm just going to go back and forth. Then what you can do is you can take, I have a blender, you could take tissue paper, you could take your finger, whatever you want to use, and I'm going to blend my pencil in a little bit. If you were to spend a lot of time on this, you would want to make sure that you gradually go from dark to light. You also want to make sure your cast shadows are the darkest part. So if you look at the picture, the real life thing, that's pretty dark. And then this is lighter than that, but it still goes from dark to light. And that's really going to give it that three-dimensional look. The light hits it on the top of here, so I actually don't have anything to shade on the top. But I am going to go ahead and move on to the disinfecting wipes. And we're not going to worry about making this a really smooth look just because it's sort of practice of drawing a still life. And it doesn't have to be super smooth lines to look realistic. If you look back at this picture, you can see where it goes from dark to light on here too. So we're just adding a little bit of gray shading. Another shadow that I noticed is right here. So I'm going to go ahead and add that. The last step is the bottle. I also notice that there's a slight cast shadow right here that I added. Water bottles are tricky because the light hits in so many different ways and reflects through the water. So I just colored it the similar way that we did the other ones, just to kind of match. Your last step to finish would be to outline all of your lines, because they kind of get lost once you start blending that pencil. So this will help define your objects. Don't forget to sign it. I'm going to even put the date on the corner. And then you have your art journal entry for modern day history.